This is a stimulus update and daily news report. Got some important updates to share with you. New inflation data came out. Some economists are predicting that inflation is going to run hot into next year. What is being done about it though? There's $800 checks going out in one state, and $3,200 deadline is today to claim those payments. I'll give you more details on that. Chuck Schumer says what he is going to do now that the Senate is in the majority of the Democrats, technically, and I'll give you some other important updates as well. Hope you're having a terrific Tuesday. If you appreciate the fact-based, fast-paced updates, hit the like button down below. So wholesale prices rose 0.2% in October, less than expected as inflation eases. So inflation easing now and certain data points. So the producer price index rose 0.2% in October, below the 0.4% estimate. A significant contributor to the slowdown in wholesale inflation was 0.1% decline in services, the first outright decline in the measure since November of 2020. And on a year-over-year basis, the PPI rose 8% compared to an 8.4% increase in September. And in other economic news, the Empire State Manufacturing Survey for November registered a 4.5%, much better than the negative 6% reading. So I know I just offered a lot of numbers there, but what does it mean to you and what's going to happen next? Well, economists see U.S. inflation running even hotter through next year. So looks like it's going to get even worse. As predicted, a lot of economists are saying this. As you can see, like the predictions are a lot higher now. When we hear this, so this is surveyed 65, let me get to it. So figures are based on the median forecast of 65 economists in a Bloomberg survey. And basically, to sum it all up, looks like inflation isn't going anywhere soon. It may get a little lower, but it's still going to remain at these record highs. And inflation risks remain as Congress eyes billions in year-end spending sprees. So the big budget for the government hasn't been settled yet, the omnibus, and I think they're going to do a CR, continued resolution, because it was supposed to be done September 30th. It's an election year, a lot of politics at play. There should be billions, a lot of money in this budget, and we're going to see a lot of fighting between the Democrats and Republicans, but maybe not. Maybe since there's a new Congress voted in House and the Senate, a couple of seats there too, maybe things will be different. Maybe the Democrats and Republicans will work together. Do you think that's going to happen? Let me know down in the comments below. For what is being done about it, well, there are some stimulus payments being trickled out. Today, November 15th, is the deadline to claim the $3,200 stimulus payment, how to apply. So if you did not get your child tax credits, which supposedly there's a lot of people who haven't gotten it yet or know anybody, today is the day to claim it. So the deadline to claim checks and the 2021 child tax credit is the 15th of November, which is today. So definitely go to the IRS website, take advantage of that. And then also, stimulus update, will you receive an $800 tax rebate in 2022 if you live in South Carolina? So South Carolinians, this is where I live, looks like it could be up to $800 rebate payment. So basically, in an announcement this week, the agency said it is sending payments to eligible taxpayers who filed a 2021 South Carolina individual tax return, the SC 1040, by October 17th, 2022. So if you filed it by October 17th, then I guess that is how you could get a maximum of $800 rebate check. So yeah, those are going to be sent out through February of 2023. So I'll keep you updated on that. And then the U.S. Senate to tackle debt ceiling, Majority Chuck Schumer leader says. So now that the Senate is technically, well, kind of where it was now, so it's 50 Democrats, 49 Republicans. We have the runoff race in Georgia again, and that's going to determine if it's an official majority or if it's a 50-50 Senate, as it was before, with the vice president being the tiebreaker. So technically, as of now, the Democrats are in majority. What is going to be done about it? What are the Democrats going to do? Is it anything different now that the Senate may or may not have the official majority? Take a look at what Chuck Schumer has to say.
Joining us now live is Senator Chuck Schumer. Senator, thank you so much for making time to be here tonight, sir, and congratulations.
Yeah, it was good at that restaurant. You know, people got on their emails that we had won, and the whole restaurant broke out in cheers. It was just wonderful.
Wow.
It was a great moment.
I hope you.
A lot different.
I hope you left a. Hope you left a big tip.
Thank you. Big tip. I'm a big tipper.
So let me get your response tonight to this new news that we've just had within the last half an hour or so, 45 minutes. Out of Arizona, NBC News is now projecting that the Democratic candidate Katie Hobbs has defeated Republican Kari Lake in that state.
Well, it's first great news, obviously. Kari Lake was a very dangerous person. She's very smooth talking, but very, very dangerous and had hard right views. And if she is defeated in a state like Arizona, which is a purple state, it should send another message, another shockwave through the Republican Party, that when you embrace this MAGA Republican right-wing extremism, you lose. Candidate after candidate had lost, just about every one of the extreme people who wanted to undo the next election, who denied this election, all lost. And as I've said, I hope this is a lesson to the mainstream Republicans. Now, we don't agree with the mainstream Republicans on so many different things, but I hope it's a lesson to them that if they embrace this MAGA Republican Trumpism, they're going to lose. The American people, this is one great thing, Rachel. A lot of people doubted the fidelity of democracy, and with reason. We saw the election deniers. When you're a political party that denies an election, that's the beginning of autocracy, the end of democracy. So they saw these election deniers. They saw the violence on January 6th. They saw much other threats of violence, even against innocent poll workers who were just trying to do their job. And they said, democracy's eroding. And democracy's roots, they may be quiet, but they run deep. And the American people, not just liberal Democrats, but moderates and even conservatives said, this MAGA Republican Party is against everything that democracy is all about. I can't vote for them. And I predicted this in August. I said there was going to be about 10 to 15% of the electorate who normally might vote Republican, who was going to not vote for them because of this embrace of MAGA. So my hope, my plea really, to the non-MAGA Republicans in the Senate is work with us. We will be willing to compromise because the second reason we won is we got real things done. We took on big oil and got the biggest climate bill ever done. We took on pharma and finally put a limit on prescription drug prices. We took on the NRA and actually passed some good gun legislation. The people saw two things. They saw us fighting for things they cared about and succeeding, and they saw the Republicans at the MAGA extreme. And they put those two things together with the fine candidates we ran who were very decent, honorable, and very successful, effective people. And that clinched the election for us. This will happen again if the Republicans continue to embrace MAGA. So the warning, the clarion call to the non-MAGA Republicans is work with us. And people say, well, they won't. Well, one other point. Of the 6 major bills we passed in June and July and August, which woke America up that we could do things, 5 were bipartisan. The big one, IRA, was not, because Republicans wouldn't do anything on climate, wouldn't go after pharma. But things like the gun bill, the CHIPS bill, which brought American jobs back here and said we're not going to let China take over or any other country take over our chip fab industry. The bill that said the Veterans Administration had to deal with those veterans who were exposed to the burn pits. All of those and many other things passed in a bipartisan way. And so I'm hopeful, and I'm an optimist, you know me well, that they're going to do that. They're going to say that path doesn't work. We don't need every Republican to do it. We don't even need half. We just need a group that we can work with. And we're willing to meet them part of the way. We're not going to give up our principles, but meet them part of the way to get more things done for the American people.
Let me ask about one of these that's going to come up fairly quick. I understand that you today filed cloture on a bill to codify marriage equality, to make it federal law that same-sex couples have the right to marry. I mean, clearly you are worried that the conservative majority on the Supreme Court is going to, is basically coming for people's marriages, and they're going to try to take away that right. What is your expectation in terms of moving cloture on this today? There will be the first votes on Wednesday. Are you expecting Republicans to join Democrats in supporting this?
Our 2 lead Republicans on this, I asked 2 people to be our leaders on this, Tammy Baldwin and Kirsten Sinema. And they came back when it first came that in the House, 30 Republicans voted for marriage equality. much to our surprise and delight. Put it right on the floor, some people said. Well, Sinema and Baldwin, our leads on this, said to us, we're not going to get the votes if you do it now, but we're quite certain that if you do it after the election, we will get it done. And, my job is to get things done. Get things done. I know that some people said, just make it an issue, show where the Republicans are. But the American people, and particularly LGBTQ plus people who want the right to marry, and by the way, it's sort of personal to me. I have a daughter who has a beautiful wife, and they're expecting a baby in a few months. Isn't that great? People want us to get things done. People want us to get things done. And I'm optimistic based on what I know and what our two lead senators know, that we will get the votes to get this done. And it'll say to that Supreme Court, just like we want to say to them, get your hands off women's bodies. We want to say, figuratively, of course, we want to say to them, let people marry who they love, period.
Your majority will either be 50-50 with Vice President Harris as a tiebreaker, or it will be 51-49, depending on what happens with Senator Warnock's runoff election in Georgia on December 6th. Can you explain to me and to our audience what the practical difference is in terms of how the Senate runs? I mean, obviously, you've been at 50-50 these past couple of years. It required a power sharing agreement with the Republicans. How different would the Senate be? How different would your life be? How different would your ambitions be if it was 51-49 instead of 50-50?
It's not 1% different. It's very different for the better. For one thing, anytime a judge or a nominee to the administration, and we've had a lot of good progressive nominees, gets a vote out of committee that's, 10-10, that's tied, it delays things for a week. You have to go to the floor, you have to get the time, and you have to bring Kamala Harris there and do what's called a motion to discharge out of committee. If we have 51, there'll be no more motions to discharge. It will mean appointees and judges will get appointed much more quickly. And, we've had a great record with judges. We've set the record as of today, actually, 83 new judges, 2/3 women, half people of color, and progressive judges, not just partners in law firms and prosecutors, but legal aid attorneys and immigration lawyers and consumer advocates, things like that. So that'll make that a lot easier. The second thing it does is you can get different bills out of committee much more quickly. Third, we can have subpoena power. With 50-50, you can't really get subpoena power. So it means it's a lot easier to get things done. And one other thing, when you have 50 senators, and obviously any one senator can say, I'm not voting for it unless I get this, this, or this. When it's 51, it's harder to do. So you put all that together. Plus, that extra seat helps us in 2024 keep the majority. I'm always trying to think ahead. It's a world of difference. And Raphael Warnock is just a great person. He's been a great senator for Georgia. Service has been his motto, whether as a minister, head of the Ebenezer Baptist Church, as a senator. He's the person who took the lead on getting insulin in Medicare only cost $35 instead of the $600, $700, $800. He's one of the people who's taken the lead so that disadvantaged farmers in Georgia, poor farmers, will get some help. They have been discriminated against in the past. He's one of the people who took the lead on expanding the ACA so more people got health care and it was cheaper. Issues that really matter to people, Warnock has already produced. So if I was a Georgian, and this race is going to be decided only by Georgians, I'd say, this guy produces for me. It's not a lot of rhetoric and bombast. It's serious stuff.
What are your thoughts on Chuck Schumer? Is this a new Congress, a new Democratic Party? Are Democrats and Republicans going to finally work together and maybe provide more aid to the American people? Let me know your thoughts on that down in the comments below. And that is all the news that I have for you today to hopefully cheer you up a bit. Here's my daughter Bella's tip of the day.
Hi guys, this is the tip of the day. I want to tell you the one thing when you feel sad, you have to do something that you really want to make you feel better or make you feel true. Or you can also, if you help somebody, then you'll feel even better or something. Or if something's really into you and you're really feeling good, you should do that as well. Bye, this is Bella. This was the tip of the day.
Thank you so much for watching. Appreciate all of your support. If you like how I got straight to the point, subscribe to the channel for more daily, straight to the point updates on matters that financially matter to you. And yeah, today's Tuesday, the busiest day of the week. A lot of kid activities, dance, swim, piano, homeschool class. Yeah, a lot of stuff going on, but hopefully you have a great rest of your day. If you want to check out any of my other videos, my other channels, click right up here, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care, be safe. Thank you for watching.